Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you is. Today on What's Kraken, we've got Stephanie Roy. Oi, oi, oi. Full disclosure, we might know each other. We just might. So, first of all, thank you very much, Stephanie, for making the time and being here. I've been trying to get you for a while, also on the podcast for a while.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of things. We will talk about your book. And I'm not going to get the title wrong. It's Chemotherapy and Tequila. First, I thought you said we should do that. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do both. I don't drink anymore. I don't want to do chemo either. But that's the title of your book, The Last Road Trip. We'll get into all that. We're going to get into new projects. We're going to get into old projects. We're going to get into the projects. We're going to break it in. But I want to go all the way back. All the way back. Yeah, I know. I don't even know what year it would be. I think it's 2014, 13 at a little Atwater Mall.
Yes.
Was that then?
Yeah, that's where we met.
Okay. That's where we met. We met at the mall. How weird's that?
I know, right?
As the ghost hunting adventurers.
Ghost hunters, yes.
That was a long time with Taylor.
Yeah,
and then
that was
extremely fake psychic who always was like, oh, I forgot that person's name. Probably best off to forget that one.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and we just did we did ghost hunting for a year or two, right?
I
Is
know,
that really it?
But I think mostly we were there to weed out the weirdos.
We were, full disclosure, I was like, is this a fucking honeypot? Is that dude trying to honeypot me? Honestly, I saw between you and Taylor, I'm like, what the shit, dude?
Right?
How? Yeah. But it worked out. We did weird out a lot of the weirdos.
Yes, we did.
We did. And the weird thing is, for those of you that had no idea what the fuck you're talking about, welcome to my world. But there was this thing before the pandemic called Meetup. I think it might still exist, meetup.com, right? And if you're new to a city, oh, I like this, I like that, you're just trying to meet people, right? And I signed up for 3 or 4 different groups that turned out to be the same fucking group.
Right? Oh,
because you were always, it was a writing group.
You again?
It was exactly what the shit? How many groups are the same Atwater fucking? It wasn't really Atwater Mall. It was by the West. It was Westmount, right? It was Westmount.
Yeah. I think Westmount Mall or something. I don't know what they call that.
Weird ass tunnel that goes to the one way goes to the quick care, and the other way goes to basically shit.
Yeah.
I was I don't know where it is there now. I think I got there by mistake. I parked at Atwater once by mistake. I was like, holy shit, this is the place we used to.
Yeah.
So it was meeting after meetup after meetup after meetup. And just by being the semi-sane ones, we just started clicking.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. And from there, I don't know. I don't remember our first non-ghost outing. What was that? Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, it was Mad Hatters, wasn't it?
Oh shit. That's what I don't remember, because it was Hatters. I would not remember this.
It was cheap drinks and just cheap all around. Yeah.
I apologize for the vomit on your not you personally, on Hatters the front step. I think I made it.
I'm sure they're used to it.
Holy
it's a regular thing.
Yeah, Hatters, man, Hatters. And then we started doing rain dance, but not the actual rain dance. We started doing the movie thing, rain dance, right? But just randomly. Yeah. I didn't know you were in that one.
And yeah, I know. I was surprised. Oh, you again? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was kind of nice, man. So
it was.
As we see, full disclosure, we know each other, and I knew you as you're writing that book.
Yes.
Chemotherapy and Tequila, The Last Road Trip. I knew you. I think, were you workshopping that book at one of the writers group? I can't remember.
Yes, I was. Actually, I was not how to write it, but I was looking for a publisher at the time. It's and that's why I was there. It's the only reason I was there. And then I found all these other people, and to find people that were writers also, because I didn't know. I mean, this was a totally new world for me, was writing, and I was here. I don't write like normal people on a computer. I write, longhand in a book. And that's where I was writing everything for my book at the time. And then I wrote the book, and So
you glanced over it, and I'm gonna go back to it. You say you don't write like normal people on a computer, you write in a book. I
Yeah.
admire the shit out of that. I think that's a lost art, and you did it that way still amazes me, because what people don't know is if you're writing it longhand, you then have to type the shit out. Someone has to type it out or transpose it how somehow, you know? Why did you decide, is that just always your style, or did you decide, "I want to write on a notebook instead?"
Well, I find it's much more practical to write when you're writing longhand, because if you're typing out something, you have to be at home, or because I don't know how people are typing on their computers a book or on their phones, but you got to be at home. And me, I wrote wherever I was. Like usually, honestly, I found the best time to write for me was on a road trip. Like I had a boyfriend then, and he would drive and we'd go on these long road trips for like 5 or 6 hours, and I would write. And that's when, because I'd look around, because I think one of the reasons find people are finding it hard to write now is
Yeah.
because they don't have that time to be bored, when there's nothing to do. And
Maybe, I think that's
and it's because, I mean, back then I've always like, if I have time, because if you're at home and you're distracted, it's like I want to write now, but I got to clean the dishes, or I got to feed the cat, or whatever it is I got to do, or call, or this person's calling, and I got to take care of that, or pay these bills, or there's always something, and you get
always something
distracted.
there.
But when
No,
you're
absolutely.
in a car, stuck in a car, it's like that's where you're right, or on the metro, going to work. It's just, and I always had this notebook on me, and that's when ideas would hit me,
Right.
and that's where I would write it down. And I think you can't really do that sitting at home staring at your laptop.
No, yeah,
I don't know how people are doing that.
that's great. I mean, that's correct. Like, I was packing up, and I only have one. I sound so posh. I only have one laptop left. I gave another one away, but this laptop's heavy as fuck, and it's kinda like I'm traveling. If I'm going on a plane, I was like, "Oh, man, my back, my shoulder's going out." I don't wanna bring it, but I also wanna write. So I was like, "Man, I need to go back to fucking notepads." I'm like, honest to God,
Yeah.
like Spiral Bound, it's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna start doing those again." And it frees you up for so much. Did I do that? No, of course I didn't do that. I just brought the son of a bitch with me. And the funny thing is, I didn't even write. I don't think I wrote a fucking thing on this thing. So I just had this big lug ass fucking dead weight with me
Yeah.
versus notebook and paper,
Yeah,
you
you
know?
just write down. Sometimes you're just driving around, or you're on the metro and you see something, and that gives you leeway into something else. And start
Right.
thinking, and because of course with my book, the book that I wrote was all about certain memories with my sister,
Right.
and so and all of a sudden, I'd see something, and yeah, and I guess that's what's important. You got to write at the moment when you're there,
Yeah.
not. So sometimes I would just write. I had a little notepad and a big one. The little one would be
Right.
just for short notes. Just something funny. Most of the time, it just went in the garbage. But you know, but it
It
was,
gets your writing.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, no idea is a bad idea, I guess.
Oh, that one idea was a bad
Well,
idea. That
then
that last trick
again,
at Hatters, definitely a bad idea for me. That's all I know.
yeah, hatters.
Shit. Oh my god.
Awesome part.
Yeah, we will get into the book itself right now because I know that this is a personal, I mean, for those who don't know, Chemotherapy and Tequila, The Last Road Trip by Stephanie Roy. Get it now. It is an absolute personal book. It's part memoir for yourself and your sister.
Yeah, it's written by both of us in a way. It's her
Right.
actual journal in there before she died of cancer, and yeah, and it talks about the last road trip that she took to say goodbye to everybody, to all her friends and family, because we all have the same friends and families, by the
Right.
way. We did, and then yeah, and that's what that was about. So she would, I guess that's where I got the idea from. Even it's because that's how she wrote her journal. My cousin gave her a journal, and she said, just write down
Well,
what you
no.
feel right now. So the book itself is about, like, everyone knows about cancer, obviously, but different viewpoints. The viewpoint of hers, where her actual journals in there halfway through the book, where it talks about her feelings and what it feels like for her to go somewhere and be made fun of because she looks like she's wearing a wig, or because she has no hair, or and my sister
And
was
she
always
had
very,
the,
and the tracheotomy. Yeah,
yeah.
she had a tracheotomy that she had all her life, though, so she was used to that. But but yeah.
which brings me to a point. Is she the older one? She's a younger
She's
sister.
2 years younger than me. Yeah.
2 years younger than you. Okay.
Hmm.
And then you grew up, and believe it or not, if and I've seen photos from back then. I have
Yeah.
blackmail photos for you. Now, I've seen photos. You look like the shy little kid. You look like a
Yeah.
shy little kid back then.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and you look at her photos, she looks like the daredevil.
Oh my God, you so have that right. She was,
Is it okay?
yeah, she was a social butterfly. I mean, she had a tracheotomy and since she was like 3 years old, but she was
Wow.
the one that was, she was insane. I mean, she was never afraid to take chances. I mean, she was the first one of us to go on a roller coaster. I was terrified. And I was, it was interesting because she was the extrovert and I was the introvert,
Yeah.
complete introvert to the point where, I missed out on a lot in life. And by the way, I'm sorry for anyone who says it's cool to be an introvert. It's not. You miss out
No.
on so much in life, and
Well,
I
I
missed
agree.
out.
Yeah.
I think that might be my only regret in life, if I have any, was that I missed out on so much growing up because I was so scared of everything or scared of people, or that would always hold me back from so much. And yeah, so I guess I always looked at my sister as an inspiration because I always, even though
Yeah.
she was younger than me, I really wanted to be like her in that way where she could just walk into any room, didn't care, whether she felt she belonged there or not. That was never a question. With her,
Yeah.
I belong here. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
Fuck,
I belong here. If anyone has a problem with it, you don't belong. Not me. I belong.
yeah.
So did that rub off on you?
Oh, it totally did. It
Totally.
totally did. I mean, um, it was, yeah, like my like her personality, like I said, it did rub off on me because I saw that she was getting places where I wasn't. She had
Right.
friends in school. I didn't, because I just didn't like people. Like, I mean, I was so shy. I
Absolutely.
actually quit high school. You wouldn't think so, I know. But
Really?
yeah, I had to quit high school early because not because of, I mean, I was a straight A student, but I had to drop out because I couldn't
Just
be around
social
people.
anxiety. Is that
Severe,
heavy?
severe.
Because I see the after picture now. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
see. I see the before picture through the pictures, like literally the pictures you show me, and the stories you tell me. But I see the completely open and fun and energetic and what are we doing today? Let's do 12 of them. Like, let's go to Tam Tams, which we have to do, by the way. I
Yes.
actually told my class I'm
Yeah,
going to.
Tam
So,
Tams. You know
yeah, I
it.
thought about doing it today, but I'm like, we're doing this instead. No,
Oh, next
I will
week.
do. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. For those who don't know Tam Tams, it's a drum circle that Stephanie's been trying to get me to since like 2013, apparently. And I'm like, that sounds dumb as hell. Like a bunch of hippies beating a fucking drum. Oh my God, stop me now. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it'll be fun. Maybe it'll
It
be fun.
is.
I'll go with the right person. You're obviously the right person for that. It'll be a blast. And we see the opposite now. We see you as this social butterfly. So you always have. Well, I don't want to like. I'm not gonna tell people where you live, obviously, but you always had the parties. You always have parties. You always have people somewhere, and it's like the collection is like your daily life is orphan Thanksgiving. Does that make sense? Like, that's your
Yeah,
daily life.
totally.
If people
Orphan
don't know what
Thanksgiving.
orphan
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is, the thing of like, I'm going home for family for Thanksgiving. I've got no one. That's orphan Thanksgiving. Everyone didn't have anyone. You always go to your house. But that's your daily. That is
Yeah.
absolutely your
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah,
Which
it really is.
and is that part of the trip in your book? 'Cause I see you both kind of come out in your book this way. You're starting to get more and more confident. Things are happening. All these things. Is that part of your makeup? It's in the book. Is that part of your makeup of how you are now then?
Yes, completely. I mean, the book, I guess that part in my life, the book, my
Right.
sister passing away, I mean, that was a huge part. But actually, it was starting before then. It
A
was
little bit
starting
before.
before, but I guess that would be when like after high school, I got going back way back now, after high
Last
school,
year.
because I couldn't, I couldn't be around people. I got married. It was my excuse to get out of high school and not be around people. And I married a man 10 years older than me. He had a child. Uh, a 3-year-old, and I wanted to raise him. I wanted to be a mommy, and I figured if I could be a mommy at home, I never have to worry
Love
about
them.
facing
Yeah.
people again. I can have my husband make all the decisions. I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
I thought
Every
I
time
knew
we heard the story,
everything,
like,
and I know now. It's like,
I was
and
like, what were you doing?
he said, even my husband was trying to talk me out of it. He was like, but you're going to change your mind when you're older. I said, no, I know what I want. I know what I want. This
Oh
is
my
what I
God.
want. He says, you're going to change. I said, no, I won't. And I did. Yeah. Uh, and I think a lot of it had to do with not just the fact that he wasn't the best husband in the world. He wasn't physically abusive. He was very
Right.
mentally and emotionally abusive. I didn't realize there was that even existed until many years later. I just lived with it because I was very busy with raising the child,
Right.
but at the same time, it wasn't, and I loved him. I loved my child. And I think that's why I stayed as long as I did, was the kid. But the thing is, what really changed me, though, going back to what changed me, when I got during the marriage, when I was 23 years old, I had a, well, it turns out my sister wasn't the only sick one in the family. It turns out I had an aortic aneurysm out of the blue, and no one knew what the hell was going on. I mean, I got misdiagnosed with good reasons. That the problem that I do have with it's not my heart, it's my connective tissue,
Okay.
and yeah, and they wasn't discovered then. So I guess they
Oh.
misdiagnosed me. They sent me home with stress. They're like, "You're 23 years old. You're healthy. You don't do drugs." I don't know what to tell you. It's probably just stress. So I went home, and turns out my aorta was separating the whole time. I managed to survive. They sent me after a week. They finally decided, whoa, something's really wrong. And
Right.
yeah, I got the surgery, and I was in a coma for 3 days, and I don't know what happened, but when I woke up literally a different person. I mean, I think it's because, and I don't think it's anything magical or, mystical or anything like that. I think it's just the fact that I realized that, I mean, up to that point, I think I thought like everybody else, where you're going to die eventually, but it doesn't really register,
That scared the
you
shit out of
know?
me. I'm not going to die. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You
And
can do
they
that.
told me I was going to die. They said, call
Oh,
your
man.
friends,
Oh,
before the
Jesus.
surgery. They said, you're not going to make it. We're just doing this because we have to.
It's college try. That's what it
Yeah.
is. We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll just some golf later, I guess. But
Yeah, but so imagine my surprise when I woke up, and I'm alive. Like,
shit.
I cried for 3 days, and because I was so happy. I've never
Mm.
been that happy in my life, and I think that's what kind of, in a way, broke me in a good way.
Right. Broke you open, kind of like broken
Broke
the
me
shell.
open. Yes, I like that. That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
I like it.
It broke me open and made me realize I wanted to see the world now. It's like, my first thought was, I hate my husband. I got to get rid of this motherfucker, and that's my first step. I got to get out of this marriage. And
Right.
eventually I did. Eventually, it took me a few years because, like I said, I was very attached to his child, and I wanted to make sure he was raised okay. And I guess it wasn't until maybe 4 years later that I left, very unceremoniously, by the way. It was not a good way, but it was the only
But
way.
you got out.
I
But you
got
got
out.
out.
Yes. Yes,
And at
I
this
did.
time, what is your sister doing? Like while you're
Oh, at
having
that
the
time.
surgery and yeah.
I thought you meant now. It's like she's
No, like,
probably
well, no.
sitting, it's flying around.
She's sitting right there going,
Sorry.
well,
Yeah. But no, at that time, my sister actually, was interesting because my sister, she was actually kind of like, "What are you doing? Leaving?" She was like, "Leaving your husband," and well, she was doing a lot of different things at the time. I mean, like I said, I
yeah.
was married, and because I was married, my husband isolated me from my family a lot. Like,
Oh, wow.
so I didn't know half of what's happening with my own family. I had my own stuff going on, and me and my sister, we still hung out every chance we could,
Right.
because and my brother, the three of us always hung out together, and we'd party together. But at that time she was doing okay, but she was single. She didn't have her
Right.
kids then. She didn't have her kids until much later. Uh, but yeah, at that time she was still being social Jose, just partying and meeting new people and traveling around so yeah.
So she's being social Jose, as you say, Jose. I'll use
Jose,
it.
yeah.
I'll use it fact as well. Did you ever think, okay, I'm out of the marriage. I'm gonna go back home. It's me, two sisters against the world and a brother. Why not? Against the entire world. Or you just kind of like, okay, what's next? What was your mindset?
Oh, well, okay. About that. It wasn't exactly as a clean break as you would expect. I mean, my husband was very controlling, extremely
Okay.
proud. So when I left, I actually left. Eh, okay, spoiler for the. uh, yeah, I left him by having an affair with the next door neighbor.
You cut off his dick. Oh no, that's not what you said.
I wish. Not
Oh
really brag
well.
on it, no, I ended up having an affair with the next door neighbor. My husband was not pleased. Very proud man,
Was
turned
the
me
next door
in
neighbor pleased?
next door in a
Oh,
trailer park. Yeah,
you
we lived
should
in a
lead with
trailer
the
park.
trailer park. You should lead it with the trailer park. Lead with that.
Yeah, it was a trailer park tragedy.
I was
But
like, you. So you get with Bubbles. Go on.
yeah, so anyways, we ended up living in the trailer next door with his parents because he was younger than me. And yeah.
Oh
So
my
you can
god.
imagine the fights and
No.
the trailer park was it was a shambles. It was a
Oh shit.
shambles. Just constant fighting and throwing shit over and just, beer bottles being smashed everywhere. It was exactly what it was like Trailer Park Boys
Yeah.
2.0.
2 point. The relaunch. We're gonna reboot that, obviously.
So I
So
guess,
yeah, you
go ahead.
went there. You went there. You got out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
At what point? Because it says like the chemotherapy and tequila, the last road trip. At what
Yes.
point do you two get back together? Like you and your
Well, we
sister.
were always together, kind of, but I think it was more after all the. Well, we were always together. We always hung out, but we always knew that because we all lived. You got to remember, we didn't live in the same town either. Eh? Like we
Right.
were always. I think that's my parents. My parents are always kind of nomadic, so we learned to do the same. Me and my sister and my brother. My brother lived in Banff at this time. I think I lived in Winnipeg.
You
Uh,
lived in Winnipeg?
I lived in Winnipeg. Yeah, I
Oh,
liked it there. I don't know. Everybody complains. I know they say it's the armpit of Canada,
I liked
but
Winnipeg. I do like Winnipeg. I do. I've
I
been
had
every time I've
fun.
been there, it's very nice for me. So I can't.
Well, it's not nice, but it's
Well, it's nice to me. I mean, the people are nice to me, I should say.
yes.
Yes,
The
there you
people
go.
are very nice. Well, depending. I mean, there's a lot of you just don't be walking around by yourself because you're asking for trouble.
Well, I'm built
Yeah.
this way, so I
But
always ask for trouble.
but I met some of my best friends in that city. So yeah. And it's just a beautiful place. And but the thing is, during that time, I lived in Winnipeg. My sister, I remember where she lived. Oh, I think she lived in Long Lac, I think. And
Okay.
I lived there for a bit. That was where I lived with my boyfriend, which is where another reason I think I started becoming a little bit less shy because the boy the guy I had the affair with ended up he wasn't emotionally abusive. He was just downright physically abusive,
Oh.
very physically abusive, and that's for the first time I discovered a lot of that, where I almost got killed a few times. But
While he's living with his parents?
no, not that. Oh no, he was a total gentleman. Then he was a sweetheart. We moved in together. We were so in love.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we both loved each other very much. We were like each other's world. We did. It was the first time I ever experienced actual love, and we did love each other. Strangely enough, and then something happened. Um, we had no money because again, when I was married, I was being so isolated. I had no job experience.
Right.
I had no education. There's no way I can get a job. And him, well, he was just young and, young, dumb and full of cum, right?
Well, that is the saying. Now, although he was legal age.
Oh, he was legal age. Yes. Yeah.
Because
I'm
you
not
said
saying he was
younger,
that
well, like,
young.
I was like
Oh,
because
no.
like he was living in his parents' trailer. It might have been like that.
Well, he was
He had a
19. I
paper
was
route.
26. So yeah.
Oh, so you
When I
flipped it. You went from dating
older.
the guy that was older, and then you became the older.
Yes.
The
And,
26 older is like, oh.
and it really worked out with us somehow. But we ended up, because I was the town pariah at this point. The town saw
Right.
me as the Jezebel of our small town. It was a very small town, and I just wanted to get the hell out of town. So we ended up moving to a different town, and there we started selling illegal products. Yes.
Fireworks. You were
Fireworks.
selling, you're
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah, sure.
Mischief
Fireworks.
makers, selling fireworks. Look at you guys.
Yeah, selling fireworks. So, but yeah, but yeah, it's like that's how. And we made. I mean, at that point, before then, we were on welfare. The two of us, we had nothing. I mean, he couldn't keep a job because I found out he was also an alcoholic.
Uh,
So yeah, severe alcoholic. But then once we started selling fireworks, he discovered he really liked fireworks.
he liked
So
doing fireworks. He liked setting them off in his own head.
yes, he liked setting them off in his own head. So next thing you know, he's doing all these fireworks and because we had so much money in the beginning, like, oh my god, we were just crawling with money. We had more money than we knew what to do with, and then once he started doing the fireworks,
That's one done.
yeah, yeah, then it just boom, our mini situation went way down.
Yeah,
Then,
well, there's a saying about fireworks: never blow up your own supply of
never blow up your
fireworks.
own supply of fireworks. Exactly,
You
exactly.
sell those fireworks first,
Yeah,
right?
and you're right, and that started a whole mess of problems, and
Yeah.
it was around that time we started getting abusive.
Okay,
Yeah,
so never right. It's the change in the person. What was like Hunter would say, you can trust a person, but never trust a drug
yeah,
or a firework in this case.
exactly. Yeah,
Like
it's
you can
true.
never
I
trust what's coming out of that.
never trust a junkie. Yeah, but
True.
but before that, and the funny thing is, that's all these years. That's what I thought the problem was the drugs. It turns out it goes back even further than that, and I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it. The abuse actually started not when he started doing the drugs. He was abusive a bit before, but not that. You know what I mean?
That
Not to that
level.
extent. Not that level. No, it was bad. And
Yeah.
but before then, he was. Well, what happened is I got pregnant. Now, I also mentioned I can't have, because of my heart condition, I can't have children, right?
Right.
When I was married, I tried to get pregnant. Remember, I just wanted to be a mother, right? That's when I realized they told me after the heart surgery that I would never have kids. So, and this is after I just had 6 miscarriages, so it's
Right.
no one knew what or could explain them. And, anyways, I knew at this point, okay, I'd accepted the fact, okay, I can't have children. And maybe that's what changed my personality also, was knowing that now that I can't have kids, well, what next? I got to do
Right.
something. You got to do,
right.
I mean, I can't have kids. Am I going to sit around and cry about it for the rest of my life? Or am I going to do things that don't require me to have children? So I chose the latter, obviously. And, so yeah. So anyways, because of that, I couldn't have kids. And I had accepted that at that point when I met
That person.
Bruce. Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce. So,
That's okay.
so, and he was always like, oh, you don't listen to doctors. You can have kids one day, blah, blah, blah. And I just, whatever, ignored it, Anyways, one time I accidentally, with him, I did get pregnant once. And I was like, oh no, I can't go through another miscarriage. It had been years since I went through all that, the constant depression and,
Right.
of losing a child. And I didn't want to go through this again, but at least now I was prepared because I knew I was going to lose it, because I know what my situation is now, but he just wouldn't accept it. He was like, nope, miracles happen. I want to be a dad. He was so excited. He was just, and then in the end, obviously without going to the whole story, it's a crazy story of how it happened, but I did end up having, even though, and he was so gentle with me before. He always was. And it didn't hit me until many years later exactly what happened. Both of us realized it, actually, where it started, the whole abuse. It was when I had a miscarriage, obviously, and he took it really harder than me even. And I didn't really understand at the time because I guess it was kind of busy in my own world and didn't realize how much it had affected him. And wasn't until many years later, we actually talked many years later after everything. And he told me that, and he said when he found out, like all he ever wanted in his life was to be a father. Strangely enough, guys think like that too. And I think, and that's when we realized that's when the abuse started. And it's like he said, he was trying to get rid of me. He just wanted me to leave. But then every time he tried to get me to leave, he would want me to stay and he didn't want me to leave. So it was a constant back and forth with him, and I didn't even see it. And so it's interesting,
But That's some deep psychology right there, and
Mm.
it goes into, I'm so sorry to hear this, of course, and does go into the next part. When you know your sister's dying, how are you handling that? Because you
Oh,
know that your miscarriage was coming, and then the abuse happens, so you know your sister is dying. How do you handle?
oh, that I did not handle well. I did not.
Okay,
I was a mess. I had just moved here
right.
and to the city, and this is a city I always wanted to live in. And this is well here in
From Montreal,
Montreal.
yeah.
Montreal. I love it. I love this city, and it was my dream to always move here. And then when I moved, I didn't. My sister wasn't sick when I moved here, but then she was, and it was like it was almost as soon as I moved here, and I was just. And then we found out. Well, actually, I think she had like a throat cancer before that, but it was, oh, it's going to go away. Well, the doctor's going to do chemotherapy or whatever, and it's all
Right,
going to go away. And I tend to sometimes be a little bit too optimistic, not realistic.
right.
In my mind, I believed that she was going to be fine, and she was taking it like a trooper. So, and then I moved to Montreal. And then when I found out that she wasn't going to get through it, like it was going to be she was going to last about a year or
Right.
two. And wow. I had just moved to Montreal. I was devastated. Like I couldn't work. I couldn't keep a job. I was crying all the time. And that's not like me. At this point, like I said,
No.
I changed. A lot happened throughout
Yeah.
those years that made me a lot tougher. And now I'm crying again. In a way, I was almost relieved to be crying because I thought I lost that ability. But no, I gained that right back. And because of that, I was crying all the time. And I even told my sister one time, I said, that's it. I'm just going to move to Sudbury because that's where my sister was living then. And yeah, we're just gonna, yeah, we're gonna get together. Yeah, I'm gonna move there. I got my degree in psychology. That's right. I went to
Yeah.
school, and,
There you
and
go, see?
during that time I went to school late. I was 36 or 37 when I went to
But you
university, I
went.
think.
You went, and you got your stuff. That's cool, man.
Yeah, I got it. But here I have this degree, and and I couldn't get it because well, we'll get to the reason I couldn't use it.
Fireworks.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of bad shit that happened. And yeah, so I couldn't really use it. But I was like, okay, well, I can move to Sudbury and I can take care of you there. I'll get a job there. And then she got mad at me. She says, no, don't you dare. She says, you've been wanting
Right.
to move to Montreal all your life, and now you're gonna move here, take care of me. And what then? I'm gonna be gone in a year, and then you're stuck here. You're gonna be stuck here just like I was. She says, no, you stay exactly where you are, and we'll do what we can, and I'll be fine. And she said she'd tell me her friends were helping. Like my sister had a lot of help. She was very well loved, and she had certain friends that were. She had one friend even pay for her a trip to the Dominican Republic at one point.
Oh, cool.
I know, just paid for everything. My
Nice.
parents took her to Disneyland. Like so she got spoiled, because that's what everyone wanted to do. And I wish I could have spoiled her, but at the time like I said, I had no job. I had no
Yeah.
money. I could barely afford to drive down there, to see her. But yeah, but that's how it was. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what she was still looking out for you,
Yes.
even when
Yes.
she was going through that, because she knew, and maybe rightfully so, it's kind of the town would trap you.
Oh,
Like, oh, you
yes.
moved that, good luck. Can't move away ever again, and this is the place you
Yeah.
want to be. So she was like, well, so she was doing a lot of trips.
Yeah.
What was the last road trip then? What was the last road trip?
Well, the last road trip was that was her part of the story, right?
Right.
Like her part of the story where she talks about like I mentioned earlier, just how she felt about being having cancer, and mentally and physically the pain she was going through on a daily basis. I mean, she had her kids with her, and she was still having to have a smile on her face all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that couldn't have been easy, but she did it. She came to Montreal, even on that road trip. She came to Montreal to come see me. She had the kids with her. They were 12 and 9 at the time. And
Oh,
yeah, and the kids and the kids were always. She was so good. Like at one point, during the road trip, she actually had a medical emergency. where she passed out on the side of the road driving her car. Well, I mean, she wasn't driving at the time, but she knew to pull over.
Right.
But she was unconscious. The kids had to call 911. The ambulance came. And at the time, and once they took my mom, you know, the kids were like, yay, we get to ride in an ambulance, you know, and my sister's half car's like, yay.
It's like one more road trip thing.
You know, yeah, but they managed to get back. But, you know, she just had to, she just ended up reaching a low level with the cancer, and she was really sick. And a lot of people don't realize how hard that is sometimes. But yeah, but she dealt with it. She was tough, my sister, man, when I think about it. She was, and still trying to keep a smile on her face for everybody. And even up until she died with a smile on her face, if that makes, you know, and we were there. Well, I mean, we were trying to be there. In reality, my parents were there, but yeah, when she was taking her last breath. But when I saw her, yeah, she had a smile on her face thereafter. And yeah, the kids were there. I remember that was a disturbing vision, though. It's like the kids were on her body and they refused to get off. You know, they were hysterical and crying. And
right.
Yeah.
They don't understand death then.
But that was two things my sister made me promise before she died. You know, she said, okay, I have two things you have to promise me. I said, okay. The first thing, take care of my kids, or don't take care of them. Like I couldn't take care of them financially, but be there for them emotionally and support them any way you can. Like be there for the weddings and the funerals and the graduations and, you know, and because I won't be there and I want you to be there and be proud of them and, you know, do everything you can. Cause I know their dad won't be there for that. And he really wasn't. He's not a very emotional person, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, the kids were there. I was there for the kids for as much as I could. And yeah, and I did. And the second one, of course, the second promise was that's when she told me about her journal that she had in the journal that she had. I had no idea. Nobody knew that she had written this journal, you know, during this road trip that she took to go visit the family. And so she said, I want you to take this journal, go find it, get it published, fix it up if you have to, you know, spelling errors. I know you're good at that, you know, but at the same point, I want you to write your experience. I want you to write what you felt from your point of view, you know, because I know you'll be able to do that. And she says, you've been wanting to write a book since you were 15. She said, and you never, ever did it. You kept it because my sister used to get mad at me. I'd go visit her. I still have a huge box of, you know, little snippets and things that I write and unfinished stories and, you know, articles and things. And my sister would read them and she would say, you're so good. Why don't you do something? Finish this. And she'd get so mad at me. She'd talk this, why isn't it finished? Because that's how she talked. She whispered when she talked and yelled.
The whisper yell.
Whisper yell, yeah, it was funny, and you could hear her anywhere, like coming in. It's like, oh, there's Jose, she's mad again, but yeah, that's what she told me. She says, I want you to finish this. You've always wanted to be a writer, and now you have to do it. Yeah, so it's like this is so yeah. So I told her I promised her I would finish it, and I did.
So. You did. You did, and that's you kept both promises. You really did. Because I've been there for your phone calls and like voice chats and video chats, voice chats. Jesus, man, video chats with your niece and nephew. Like, you've always been there for them.
Yes,
emotionally, absolutely. You always have been there, and that's a testament to the person you are. You kept your promises. I think that's one thing I know about you. You keep promises. Not everyone does, but you go out of your way to keep promises. And then that became Chemotherapy and Tequila, the last road trip.
Yes.
Right.
And if you're, I was just going to say, if you're wondering about the tequila part, why I use tequila, because for us, that was our greeting thing. We would always like have a shot of tequila.
Okay.
Because we lived in different towns and we'd always meet up at a bar and we'd be like, hey, tequila.
I was absolutely going to ask that. So I was going to say, I knew your tattoo. I was like, I knew it was from the tattoo. I was like, oh, that's a tattoo. So that was the tattoos for her as well.
Yes, that's exactly why I got this tattoo. It has the tequila glasses, so
Yeah.
it's
So
upside down, I think.
it's upside
But
down, and the monitor. You must have gone on these, one of these. So you memorialize her on your body.
yes, I have.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
in prosperity through the book, which is very cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
chemotherapy and tequila. I can't talk. I need some tequila to talk, maybe. No.
Yeah.
Chemotherapy and Tequila by The Last Road Trip by Stephanie Roy. Can I ask one more question about this? And you can just say, next question if you're uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
I read the book. I love the book. I think everyone who's going through experiences, either losing a loved one or is that loved one who's going through this, should absolutely read the book. It's not all sunshine. It ain't, but neither is life. It's an honest reveal of it. And I don't like the books when they sugarcoat shit. And like, oh, everything's fun. Like, no, it's not fun. Like you have to be really honest with it. And that's what your book does. I really do enjoy it. I heard a rumor that maybe the book is not the end of that story and that might go into a visual medium. I guess books are visual mediums, but audio visual medium. There we go. That's a better word for it. Is that rumor true? Are you working
Uh,
on something?
well, I was for the. You mean? Do you mean like about? You mean like continuing, like my story? I mean.
However you wish to do it.
Yeah, well, because that's one thing I thought about. I was actually going to write a book, write a movie about the book, and do it my way,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it didn't. I think the book was great, but there's a lot of things in there I might have left out, because of certain issues. But
Right.
yeah, but I
Fireworks.
so I did actually write the script for the movie, thanks to certain people that were showing me how to write a screenplay.
Those sons of bitches.
And but I did write it, and I think it turned out okay. But then I realized, uh, just for certain issues, I thought maybe it might be a bit much already. So instead, I took someone's advice and decided I'm going to write my own story instead.
Damn right.
Yes, and that's what I'm doing, because it's
Good for you.
so it's probably going to be, obviously it's going to be incorporated. Her story is going to be incorporated in there
Yeah, yeah.
slightly, because I mean she was a huge part of my life,
Right.
you know. But the story goes on. It's like a lot of things happen during that time, after that time. There was a lot in between that I couldn't write about in the book, that things that were happening with me at the time. And aside from, you know, I mean, sometimes sometimes I forget I was even married before, because it was such a long part of my life. I
Yeah,
says
that was a bit ago.
because
That was when you're like a sweet teen.
yeah, I know. It's like until I was
Sweet
26,
teen.
but yeah, that part of my life seems so insignificant now. And I look at everything else that happened afterwards. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened, and that's what I'm writing about, because the whole point is I want to be able to, because I realized myself, there were a lot of failures in my life, and I've always managed to get up from them and keep going anyways. And I guess that's why I want to do this series. I was going to write a movie on it, and then I realized there's too much going on. I can't put it's like the whole Dark Tower series. You can't
Right.
put
It
the
works
Dark
better
Tower
as a
series in
series.
one movie. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Right.
So without missing out in very
A
important
lot of
aspects.
stuff. Right.
So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna work on a TV series. So I am. It's like different parts, and it's actually working out really well. I'm working on it now,
Very
and
cool.
it's also, but then, like the book, it's kind of a therapy too, right?
Yep.
And you're,
You exercise as you do it. Absolutely. And I look forward to it. I mean, this is something we talk a lot, and I was like, oh, this is make a great movie in my mind, and I can't wait to see the series.
yeah, I'm
That'll be
excited.
wonderful. That's so
But
cool. I'm going to ask you one last question, young lady.
okay.
And this is going to be a very weird question. I usually ask this, but this might be more poignant for you because you are markedly two different people from one age to another. If you can go back in time and give younger you, I mean teenage year or younger you, advice, what would you do? What would you say?
I guess I would have to say, well, aside from don't get married. But at the same time, I don't really want to say that either, because I mean, that's something that I learned, as much as I
Right.
don't regret it. So I can't say that. But I guess I would say hang in there. I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but you just hang in there, because I mean, life is going to get rough. It's going to get rough. But the good, and I used to say this to my teenagers all the time. I used to work in a teen center, and because when you're young, when you're young, it's like, everything's such a disaster. You think
End
that
of the
your life
world.
is over. It's like that boy doesn't like me, or I'm fat, or I'm skinny, or I smell bad, or whatever. You know what I mean? You're always different.
All the above. Yeah.
Yeah, all the above. But but it's such a disaster. And I mean, there's so much with teen suicide I see, and teens are the worst for it, the worst victims of that, because they do think that life is horrible, and it's awful. And it's a disaster. And you know what I tell those teenagers? I always tell them, okay, I got good news and bad news. The bad news is life is going to get a lot harder from here on out.
Look,
but
thanks, woman.
but the good news is eventually things are going to happen that are going to toughen you up, and you're going to develop the tools that you need to deal with those kinds of things. Right now, you don't have those tools because you don't have that kind of experience just yet. And that's why things look so as hard as they do. And I get that. I've been there too. But just hang in there, because things get easier life doesn't get easier, but the way you deal with things is going to get a lot easier.
Because I think you hit it on the head because they don't have the tools yet. The only way to get those tools is to keep living through it.
Yeah.
The
You
only
keep
way you
pushing
don't.
through it.
Yep. You can't go Amazon for that one. You have to live through it and develop your own. And then
Yeah.
there's always like there's the sweet moments of life. They're very much worth living for it. So that was very cool. And I cannot wait. I'm going to absolutely go read the books again. It's going to be Chemotherapy and Tequila, The Last Road Trip by Stephanie Roy, who is my very special guest. Steph, it was wonderful. Thank you. I love you. I will see you soon.
You too.
And on behalf of myself, Joe, and Stephanie, we bid you good day. Bye, y'alls.
Bye.